Hello there, this is DBT and these are the rooms. And alright, let's continue playing some more Asphalt 8. And today, I'm gonna be doing something kinda weird. I'm gonna be playing Master Season, which in and of itself is not weird, but I'm gonna be driving this car in it without tuning it. Wait, what? Yes, because as you saw on the title or maybe on the thumbnail, this is one of the worst accelerations in the game, and I'm really curious to see how that's gonna do. But before I jump into it, if you enjoy my content, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps the channel to continue to grow, and in that way I can continue making this content for you. So go ahead, like and subscribe, and please consider joining the Room membership for access to exclusive videos and to support me directly. Information is over there by the join button. But alright, so what is the deal with this video? Well, first of all, if I sound a little bit weird, if I don't sound as my usual cheery self, that is because I am actually getting sick. I'm kind of getting into some sort of a flu or throat infection, who knows, a little bit of everything. So I'm recording this before I get fully sick, because I need to have something to upload in the channel. I'm recording this at some point early in April, so depending on when you see this video in the channel, it should tell you whether or not I got properly sick around the beginning of April, or if maybe I saved this for much later because I was able to recover before the illness got too badly. But anyway, whatever is the case, let's go over here in Master Season, and like I said, I'm going to be playing without tuning kit specifically. Now, the trick about this car, like I just mentioned, is that it has absolutely horrendous acceleration. Maybe it doesn't reflect necessarily over here, but in-game, it's terrible. I did a pro test of this car not long ago. I'll put the link in the top right if I remember to. And in testing that car, and because people told me that I should test it, the acceleration without tuning kit was horrible. So I thought, hey, how could this do with that level of acceleration in Master? But it would be a double nerf if I also don't use the other boosters, because then I won't have the nitro to start the race and all of that stuff. So what I'm going to do instead is just apply, like I was mentioning, all the boosters minus the tuning kit. And there you have it. So these two active, the other one inactive. So Master Season, let's see what we can do over here. Now, if you're wondering why I am playing in Master Season and not in regular Classic, it's because Master Season, I have always considered, and I think you would have to agree with me on this one, the Master Season is like the easier multiplayer, because you find a lot of people driving cars of all the classes, maybe unboosted. A lot of people, myself included, don't take it particularly seriously. Look at that acceleration, Jesus Christ. Don't take it too seriously. Oh my god, will it ever reach top speed? There it is. I only had to use 3/4 of my entire nitro that I had available. So yeah, people don't take this too seriously. In fact, when, for example, there's a treasure rush or something, and I want to get the dices from playing Master Season, I play it but unboosted, you know, and I play with the Arash or something like that, you know, because it doesn't really matter. So, like I said, a lot of people don't take it too seriously, don't race too seriously over here. So in general, if you're trying to what would I say? If I were to do something similar like this in Classic, I would be absolutely demolished. But over here, because people, well, are playing in dubious way, look at that, I'm in second place somehow. Now, to be fair, I was gonna be third, but someone crashed or something and they quit, so here we are. Don't mind the game being laggy, by the way. I keep on doing that at the end of the race. It freezes like that for a couple seconds, but it's fine. So I did get defeated by a triple boosted by N, but I did beat an MP431 that was also triple boosted, and the W Lycan Motor Hypersport something. Yeah, not too bad for a car that accelerates in like 10 seconds. Now this is gonna be interesting, because this one, excuse me, this one it's Barcelona reverse. So we have a fantastic opportunity at the very start to go technically in sort of a straight line. And again, just see how long it's gonna take for my car to reach top speed. It really takes like 9.5 seconds or something to reach top speed. So it's a bit ridiculous. Now, to be fair, once it reaches top speed, well, so long as, you know, you're playing half decently, you are able to keep that speed for the most part, so then from that point onwards, it's okay. But you are definitely playing at quite a disadvantage with that. There's another Koenigsegg, so it's probably gonna out-accelerate me. Look at that, everything. Even an Arash with perfect nitro, and Arash with perfect nitro out-accelerated me. The bike out-accelerated me, that yellow car or whatever it was. It looked like a Class D or C car, also out-accelerated me. It's crazy, man. But, you know, this is one thing that I do say that I kinda miss in some way from, well, I don't know, because I didn't, RIP to that dude. I didn't really play the game all that much when this was the case, but back in the day, this game used to have a crazy variety of stats for the cars. So you could have cars that were of the same class, but you had one that was very much top speed oriented. Like I remember people saying like the SLK special edition was insane with the top speed, but it had absolutely Garbo top speed. Garbo, what was it? No, great top speed and garbo acceleration, so kind of similar to this. So it would take you a long time to get there. Oh, did it crash? Jesus Christ, it's gonna be another second place. Let's go. It would take you forever to get to your top speed, but once you do, man, would that thing go. And honestly, that is something that I kind of would like for this game to have. And from time to time, people ask me like, hey, DPT, I know that you play Asphalt 8, you play also Asphalt Legends Unite. Which one do you like more? And my answer is always the same. I can't say that I like one of the games more than the other. I like them both quite a bit, but for different reasons. And both games have things that I don't like so much. So I'm not gonna be like, oh, this game is superior to that other game or whatnot. But for example, one of the things that do make me enjoy Asphalt Legends Unite multiplayer is precisely the variety of stats that exist in that game, where you can have cars of the same class, similar to what I just mentioned. Cars of a similar class, or rather the same class, but the performance being completely different. And because the tracks over there do influence a lot the performance of the car in terms of like, there's some tracks that are great for top speed. If you bring a top speed car, then you're gonna be absolutely godlike. But if you happen to bring a top speed car into a track that requires an agile car, you're not gonna be able to do the same because the requirement is very different. So that is one of the factors that I do enjoy a lot about Alu, when it comes Alu being Asphalt Legends Unite, when it comes to the performance of the cars and whatnot. And like I said, that is something that I would kind of like to see in this game. I understand, by the way, that this is not going to happen. They're not going to bring this back because at the end of the day, Gameloft did spend a lot of time and effort into balancing the cars in the way that they're balanced now, where I like making this bit of comparison. But before I get into it, what did I... Okay, I did get defeated by a couple of Class S triple booster, but I did beat a Koenigsegg 1-1, which, while not being proud out, it is triple boosted, so there's that. And a Dracuma, but that one was fully unboosted, so yeah. And leaving aside a little bit the fact that I was also talking about Asphalt Legends Unite, just in general, I like giving this bit of comparison on how I feel that the cars are balanced here in Asphalt 8, where it feels like it's a fighting game, you know, like, I don't know, depending on what generation you are, you might be thinking of something like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat, or I don't know, even something like oh, what is that one called? Super popular on the Nintendo. Smash Brothers or something. Well, I don't know, because I don't have a lot of experience with that game, so I'm not gonna mention that too much because I don't really know how that game works. But the idea in fighting games is that all of the characters are meant to be about the same in terms of power, in terms of like usability. Like, the idea is character A can beat character B and character C and D and E, but the same way character B can defeat A, C, D, so on and so forth, right? They're all relatively similar. Yeah, some have different moves, and yeah, they're obviously metas still. But in general, the idea is that they're all very closely balanced, so that there's not one single one that is absolutely 100% unequivocally better than everything else by a mile. You know, that is kind of how fighting games work. And that is what this game reminds me of in the balance, where all of the cars are very similar. Yeah, obviously, like I said, there's metas, there's some cars that are absolutely amazing and whatnot, but in general, even then, okay, that's gonna be a second place, not too bad. Look at that, I keep on getting at least top 3, so that's gotta count for something. Defeated once again by Bayan, but I did beat an Aventador. Oh no, that's... See, for a moment I read this as 1862, but no, never mind, that's a Class B one, and an MP431, but he quit. So, oof. So anyway, what I was trying to say is that all of the cars here, similar to fighting game, they're balanced in a way that they're very, very, very close to each other. Yes, there's some that are better, yeah, there are metas, some have some advantages over others, some are a little better on nitro than this other car, this other one is a little bit better on acceleration, but everything is by a little bit. Everything is by a tiny, tiny, tiny little bit. So in general, all of the cars are viable in just about every single track. That's kind of the idea. While Asphalt Legends Unite, the way that it works, it's completely different. Asphalt Legends Unite reminds me more of like a hero, what they call it, hero shooters. Think of what was that one called? The super fancy one from Overwatch from some years ago, right? Overwatch, or think of like Marvel. I believe Marvel Rivals is similar in that way, where basically they, or if you are really old school, Team Fortress 2, you know, things like that, where there are characters that have oh Jesus Christ, no, I'm gonna man. All right, that was my mistake. There are some characters that, or rather each character have very, very, very specific roles. Now you have a character that is meant to go super fast because he's the scout. He's the one to go around and figuring out what's happening. You have the character that is super slow but has a ton of hit points because he's a tank and he's meant to, well, tank all of the attacks. Then you have one that is very fragile but deals a ton of damage. That's your DPS type of character, type of situation. Similar like that is Asphalt Legends Unite, where you have cars that is like, oh, this one is super agile, it's fantastic, but it doesn't have a lot of top speed. All that it has is the agility and the acceleration type of situation. Okay, defeated by a bunch of things. This time I didn't reach top 3, but to be fair, I did mess it up with that ring out, so I don't know that I should take this one too seriously. I might as well talk about this while we're waiting, otherwise I'm gonna lose my train of thought. But yeah, so in Asphalt Legends Unite, you have the cars that are like super insanely fast, but they have terrible acceleration, so it's gonna take you quite a long time to reach that top speed. And since in that game you can lose the top speed very easily if you don't know how to drive the cars, I know that sounds silly, but over here you can be steering at full speed and it's not a problem. In that game, you're steering without nitro. At full speed, you're gonna lose all of that speed. So you gotta be, you know, it's different in the way that it plays. But either way, it takes you forever to get into top speed, but if you do get to top speed, you're gonna be so much faster than anything else. But you really need to be good at keeping that top speed. But you have the car that is insane acceleration, like, oh my god, right off the line it's a rocket. But then after that, it doesn't have a lot of top speed, so cars that are well driven are gonna eventually catch up. But if there's a bunch of jumps, then the car can still get a bunch of distance because of the acceleration, so on and so forth, right? So that is why I say that Asphalt Legends Unite reminds me more of a hero shooter type of game than a fighting game, as opposed to this one that I do feel it's a fighting game. And like I said, GameLoop did spend a bunch of time into balancing the game Asphalt 8 as is right now, precisely so that it had that type of balance where all the colors are very similar. And while that makes it great so that there is this, just about any car is a viable car to get results in multiplayer, and that's fantastic in the big picture of like, oh yeah, so you don't need a Koenigsegg CC850 absolute in order to get W's. You can get W's even with much lesser cars. That is fantastic, but in the long run, what this has caused, at least to me, is make it feel that all of the races are very samey. Because I'm always driving, if I'm driving a Class S car, I'm driving always a car that goes about 500 kilometers an hour, a little over that. Accelerates in about whatever. You know, all of the cars are very similar. Yeah, some are a little better than others, but that's the point. They all feel very sameish. So that is why I do say that I do kind of hope, or would wish rather, that the game still had that old balance in the game, because from what I understand, and if you're an old school player of Asphalt 8, let me know if this was the case. But from what people tell me, it does seem that this game used to be more in that line where you had cars that were a bit more specialized on some things, and for the same reason, they could be difficult to use in other scenarios. And all of this to circle back to the idea that is why I find this situation with this car kind of funny, you know, with the idea of, whoa, it's a car that takes forever to accelerate, but let's see what it can do. Now, granted, at the top end, this car is gonna perform like any other car that is unboosted. But I don't know, I think it's interesting to experience the game like this. Some years ago. Look at that acceleration, Jesus Christ. That is another thing, right? In a short track, a car that takes forever to get to top speed may not perform amazing, but anyway, so much nitro used for that. So see what I was saying, train of thought, it just went away. Oh yeah, that is why I've been enjoying this. And some years ago, I started playing an old version of Asphalt 8, and before the cars were rebalanced, it was a very old version of Asphalt 8, and it was super interesting to me to see how, you know, it mattered with at least Class D cars and whatnot. It was super important for you to really decide between steering or just letting the car accelerate, because once again, if you were steering as the car was still trying to build the speed to top speed, it would kind of stop accelerating while you were steering. So that was kind of interesting, and I was like, man, I do miss a little bit of some depth to reaching top speed in the game here, or maintaining the top speed. And I know. Okay, so by the way, I got defeated by all of this stuff. Anything interesting that I beat? Faraday Future without starting nitro, but still an Artura triple boosted, and basically that's that. See, and this thing keeps happening to me that there's a bunch of times in between the races, and what that causes for you, it's a moment, right, between the last and this race. For me, it's been a couple of minutes, so I kind of already lost track of what I was saying. So yay for that. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of funny to see the really slow acceleration of this thing and struggle with it. Oh, I was probably talking about how I love this game. Obviously, I love this game. I enjoy playing it. I've been playing it for years now. I built a crazy garage. through the years. I went pay to win and all of that. It has an amazing Lamborghini collection. I still enjoy playing the game. I find it very fun and a bunch of things. But, and here comes the but, I do get bored of the oh god, I'm sorry, buddy. Oh, I didn't knock him down. Great. Actually, I thought I was gonna knock him down, but hey, that's good. I do get sometimes bored of the multiplayer because again, all of the cars are so samey that it just feels like playing with a different 3D model, you know, as opposed to, oh, it actually feels like a different car. I don't know, that's kind of feels the way that it feels to me. And you know, obviously I still enjoy playing it quite a bit and whatnot, but I don't know, there's something that makes me like, oh man, maybe it also is just the fact that the game, Jesus Christ, that the game has been, you know, without updates, significant updates in terms of features to the gameplay for a long time now. Alright, so I got defeated by a bunch of things, even a fully unboosted Cyan, but then again, even fully unboosted accelerates way better than mine, so let's keep that in mind. So I did beat a Debo, triple boosted, Artura, MP431. Jesus. Alright, let's do one last race. You know, when we've been playing the same game mode for the last several years now, where there's really no innovation in the gameplay at all, yeah, it does start getting stale. And like I said, I still enjoy the game. I still play it a lot, right? I still love driving my Lambos and all of that stuff. But yeah, it is a little bit of a situation where it's like, man, I wish there was something a bit fresh to do. And here's hoping that Gameloft will do something about it, but meh. I really don't think that's going to be the case. Not to be a downer, but you know, it is what it is. So at the very least, I still enjoy the game for what it is at the moment. I wish, you know, that I would get this, it would get that, it would do this and that and all of that. But hey, at least I still get to play it in multiplayer and still have my fun, even if not exactly what I want. But to be honest, I don't think a lot of people would enjoy this that I'm thinking of the variety of stats, because, you know, I am the type of person who is a lot into this, like, hey, why don't they do some experiments? But a lot of people are more like, no, I know this car in this way, I know all of my cars in this way, and I want them to stay that way. And it's understandable, by the way. I'm not saying that that's a wrong way of thinking. I'm just saying that from my personal point of view, that is just kind of boring. And people are often not very interested or enthusiastic about changes. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know that people would receive an idea of Gameloft suddenly rebalancing cars to be super varied and whatnot. And imagine rebalancing 400 cars at this point, well, almost 400. Yeah, that would be crazy. I said that, but they did rebalance a bunch of cars a couple years ago. Either way. Yeah, I don't know. I just thought it was an interesting little topic to talk about while I was driving a car that takes forever to accelerate. But yeah, unsurprisingly, after I get to top speed from there onwards, it's not necessarily super difficult or anything, because hey, so long as you keep the speed, you are fine. But there we go. Once again, I'm sorry if I sound a little bit, you know, down. It's just that I'm a little bit sick, and I hope to not get sicker. But yeah, depending when you see this video, again, if you're seeing it at some point in the start of April, it means that I did get sick, so I'm using this as a video to upload, to have available there for when I have lost my voice. However, if you're watching this at some other point other than April, the start of April, then this means that I did not get sick or I didn't need to do this, so that's kind of dope. But either way, I hope you enjoyed the video. Once again, like, subscribe, consider joining the membership, but that's all. Thank you for watching. See you next one. Bye-bye.